And who's the other person?
Huh?
Who's the other person?
Who's the other person? The other person is Scott Boddicker from
Hi, Scott.
from Plano.
Turn my other light on.
From Plano, Texas. Believe it or not. And
I'm the one that's not allowed to be seen, so you can only hear me.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's people are. Well, let me see here. I'm trying to see here. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me put on the whole screen here so people can see what's happening. Okay, hi guys, how are you? I guess you're it, huh?
Is this the pre-recorded show?
Yeah, this is the pre-recorded show. Yeah, no.
Oh, good.
Damien
good.
did a pre-recorded show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was his girlfriend's birthday. So, yeah. I never do pre-recorded shows. I really should. I should, like, one day a week I should run a rerun in here or something. You know?
That's not a pre-recorded. Well, it is, but it's a rerun.
It's a rerun, yeah. I won't talk for a half an hour about one movie. You know, I mean,
Put Michael Snyder on for that.
well, and also I listened to the reviews they were doing, and I'm sorry, they were wrong, most of them.
On which
They agreed with me.
They didn't all agree with you.
what movie, Phil?
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Oh, I loved it.
I wasn't too impressed.
Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
And
died?
it's not a Republican thing.
Who died and made you the New York Times film critic?
There's votes out
But
there. I've
no,
got fans.
No. But tell them the film you did like.
What did I like?
Pitch Perfect.
It's been a while.
Pitch Perfect.
I like the
2.
Warriors.
You like Pitch Perfect 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Give me a break.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah. We had a little glitch or something on Skype for a second there, but here we are back again. So are we only going to be filled up with 2 people tonight?
Wait a minute. Don't I count? Again, I'm invisible.
Here,
Shoplift.
here. Just, there you go.
See?
See? They can see you now.
Hi.
You
Hi.
see?
All right. It's true. You do hang out with girls.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
he puts me behind the computer. I'm not allowed to be seen, and I don't even count.
Wait a minute. Hold
You know,
on.
he's talking all this tranny stuff and, Bruce Jenner. And, we figured maybe he wasn't hanging out with girls. But now it's true. You do hang out with girls.
What is that flash going on?
I was thinking for $500 million, I'll even wear a burqa.
Really?
A beekeeper suit?
No, the ISIS uniform.
Oh, I see. Okay, hold on a second. I got to go back to the screen here. Okay. Anyway, something was glitching, and I couldn't figure out what was glitching. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're okay now. So I guess nobody else is going to call tonight. You think it's the hockey? Or you think it's the basketball?
And
There's
the, and
no
the French
game tonight.
and the French
the game,
Open.
I think, is Sunday.
Oh, there is no game tonight. So now I really feel like shit.
Oh, Scott, you're muted.
You're muted, Scott. Scott, talk to us.
Nothing.
No,
We can't hear you.
can't hear you. Look at your Skype and see if your mic is muted.
Got the mute. No.
Well, oh, that's great. I've only got one person now.
Oh, see? That's another thing. One person. I don't count. I'm 0.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
Oh, he's going to come back? He probably
Yeah,
didn't
he
turn
will.
his mic on. Well, now it's just you and me, Phil. This is what it's come to.
See?
This is
She didn't even say Phil, Marjorie, and me.
why I'm quitting the show.
Yeah, but you see, you're not registering as a caller or an online listener.
He won't let me do that. I want to go in the other room and
Now,
call.
wait a minute. Hold on a second. Scott, can you talk now? No, we can't hear you. You know why? Because your Skype is probably muted somewhere. Your audio is muted.
Look at the bottom of the screen.
Look at the bottom of the screen. Is there a little microphone there? Is there a little
This is the
microphone
most
there?
animated I've seen Scott ever.
Scott's cute.
but he can't say anything.
I think Scott's the biggest asshole I've ever met in my life. And quite frankly, I've heard he's also a pederast. And now, wait a minute. Now, look at your...
Look at the bottom of yours, whatever.
Do you have like a little camera and a little microphone and a little plus there? Yes? Yes? Just nod yes or no. Yes. Where? See where the microphone is? What does that say? What does that say? On?
Does it have a line through it?
Doesn't have a line through it. Doesn't have a line through it. Okay.
How about the volume? How about his volume?
Headset?
Wait a minute. Now
Maybe the
let's see
volume.
here.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Ah, there we go.
I unplugged my it might be my thing here. So
Of the thing
Yeah,
here.
I learned that from.
This is getting to
Indian
really
online
sound like
help.
an old people's program, and the thing here doesn't work.
well, it's got a microphone.
And I was reading the opinion paper this morning.
Well, it was the opinion section.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
What do you call that section of the paper?
You call it the? It's actually called.
Called the opinion
no,
section.
it's not called the opinion section. It's called
Opinion.
Obituaries?
No,
no,
opinion.
There's a name for
The
it.
New York Times calls it opinion.
Editorials.
Editorials, yeah.
No, that's part of opinion.
No,
But the-
op-ed.
They call it the opinion.
They call no. When somebody like Snowden writes something and sends it to them and they publish it, it's called an op-ed.
The headliner, before you even go into it, says opinion.
What do you think op means?
I understand that,
But
but
it's
they don't
called-
say op-ed. It says
They're
opinion.
called op-eds.
Well, they write it
I
opinion.
am sick and tired of arguing with you.
Oh, you want to argue with me?
Will you blow me?
Hey, for $500 million, $500 million, I do a lot of things.
Would you blow somebody for $500 million?
I would.
Hey, then it's just a matter of negotiating the price.
Exactly. I would.
Yeah,
And put the
he'd
money-
say, okay,
and
now
put-
we know you're a whore, so
Right.
now let's negotiate the price,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
Alex?
yeah. You're paraphrasing Winston Churchill.
I would, and put the money in my bank account first.
Hey, all I can say is, hey, girlfriend, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Take a check?
No.
No,
A wire.
I don't know if you heard last night's show, but Phil was very nasty about Caitlyn
Bruce.
Jenner.
I heard.
You know, and being.
Is he playing with dolls, too?
Why would he play with dolls?
He's dressing up like a girl. He's playing with dolls.
Why would you play with dolls?
That's what girls do.
Yes, Jason. It looks like you want to say something.
I was just gonna, hey, Phil, do you actually believe in God as a Jew, or are you an atheist Jew?
I guess I'd be an atheist Jew.
So, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of confused because, you know, you have your beliefs in what you are, and that should be okay and respected, but yet he/she has beliefs in what she is, but that shouldn't be.
No, I don't ask anybody to validate my my Judaism or the way I interpret it. And why should I have to give him the benefit of validating his cross-dressing?
But, you know, and actually, I guess the thing that I would ask, does it affect you at all how he/she feels?
No, I think it's a waste of. I think it's a waste of time, and I think that.
I think it threatens you.
Does it affect you?
I think it
at all?
threatens you.
I think
No, it
actually,
doesn't threaten
I
me.
think actually, you're not telling us, but you were looking at those pictures of Caitlyn Jenner and getting a boner.
No, you know, I was looking at it and saying to myself, Annie Leibovitz was a close second to looking as good as Caitlyn Jenner, and Annie Leibovitz is not a looker, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
that's how we judge women and their talent.
no, Annie Leibovitz could photograph shit and make it look good, but yeah, and I guess she did.
Mm.
You know, I just I think it's a farce. And for people to spend time and money on that is just an absolute joke.
Yes, Patrick. Patrick would raise his hand.
And I would hate to disagree with my friend Phil, but let me ask you this. Do you believe being gay is a choice?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
well, that's the root of it right there. Because my counter to that, and where I came to the conclusion that it's not, is probably about somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 years ago. I can't remember if it was before I got paralyzed or after, but it was in that neighborhood. And I started to meet people that were different than I was sexually. Just on the fringe, not really friends, but just talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up, well, the very early part of my childhood, when my biological sperm donor was part of my life, he was extremely racist. Black people were monkeys, and that's the way I was raised for the first 7 years of my life or so, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mother countered that, but it was very difficult to get that out of my head. I went to high school and realized black people could articulate the same as white people. So there was this revelation to me that, oh my God, black people are really no different than white people or Hispanic people that I've talked to in the past. So
I agree.
now, fast forward to meeting people who are gay. And it occurred to me that nobody in their right mind would choose to be something or to live a lifestyle that would cause them to be ostracized by their family and society, to be reviled by their friends, to live a life that they can't explain, nor be comfortable being out in the open, at least back then, run the risk of being killed, and much the same as the black population in the 1800s, early 1900s, all the way into the 1950s, lynch mobs, things of that nature.
Quit moving stuff. Wait a minute. Quit moving stuff around, Tony. There's somebody who's moving stuff around.
Patrick.
I didn't move nothing.
Patrick.
No, it's not Patrick. Oh, is that
I think it's
Is that
Tony.
a
Do you
car
have the window
outside?
open?
Is that a car outside, Tony?
Let me close the window.
Yeah. Keep going, Patrick. I like what you're saying. You're basically saying, would people make this choice knowing what the...
Go deeper than that, Alex. With what black people went through, and still, for the most part, do in many cases go through with racism, do you think that people would choose to be black, to be, have racist shit, be killed, things like that?
Mhm.
And I look at being gay as the same way. You know what? Nobody chose. Nobody told me I was straight. I grew up that way.
Well, wait a minute.
Have an influence.
Let me jump in here because Jason has his hand up. Yes, Jason.
I was just going to say, Patrick, you have to remember that Phil thinks that being paraplegic was a choice.
It was. I've always said that.
I would be a paraplegic just to get the pity, and I'm
good
sure,
spot on
and
a bus.
I'm sure that's why Patrick is actually play acting the role of a paraplegic, because it just gets you a lot of sympathy and stuff. It's really good. Now let me say something here. Wait a minute.
Can I answer?
No, not yet. Not yet, because
right.
I have a question for you. So, did you choose to be heterosexual?
Yes.
Did you choose to be a Jew?
Yes.
Oh, you really did. When did you
I could have
convert?
chosen not
When
to
did you
be.
convert? You mean you actually chose to be heterosexual?
course.
What do you mean
You know,
how do you wait a minute. How do you I never chose to be
Okay, I'll tell you what.
heterosexual, and I am.
Well, it's very simple. Sometimes you're confronted with opportunities, you might want to call it, and you can
Believe
make a
me,
choice.
Now,
when I first moved,
look at the look on Patrick's face.
look, I'm being serious. When I first moved to San Francisco, there were a lot of people that were leading the gay lifestyle. And, they threw fun parties. They had good times. There was great food. Everybody was laughing and scratching and having a great time. And, I actually found that if I took girls to those parties, they were so sexually charged that I always got laid by the girl. But, early on...
Because heterosexuality was a choice you made.
Yeah, because, you're confronted. You could take two paths. You could take the other path if you decided to. It's out there. It's offered, and you could choose to assimilate into that lifestyle.
Could you?
Not.
Okay. Could you tomorrow? I see your hand up there, so I will get to you, Jason. I just want to ask him this question. Knowing all that to be true, could you tomorrow choose to be gay?
If I wanted to.
Could you?
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Why don't you choose?
I don't want to.
Why don't you? No. Wait a minute. Why don't you choose tomorrow to be gay? Really? Just to show us that you can make that choice.
No, because I made a choice.
No, you didn't make a choice.
When offered the opportunity, I made that choice.
Wait, offered what opportunity? You mean there was some guy who found you attractive?
Yeah. Hey, look, 40 years ago,
what was he?
I looked pretty damn good. What was it? And I had a 30-inch waist.
What was he?
Now my leg's 30-inch.
What was he, a priest, and you were like 13?
No. I was working on Union Street in San Francisco. It was the early 70s. There were people all over the place. It was a go-go era. It was before AIDS.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it's TV night, because look at the face on Patrick. I've got it blown up full screen.
If he lived in San Francisco 35, 40 years ago, it would have been a different story. Now, and I had a friend.
This notion that you're making a choice is beyond me. You become what you are. Your inclinations become and what you are drawn to. And
right.
most people I know who are gay say they kind of felt maybe they were gay when they were very young. Yes, Jason.
So I have to ask Phil, because when you're saying that you're making a choice, that's a human thing, an educated decision. How do you explain the rest of the mammals, and other animals that have same-sex relationships?
They're one-celled amoebas. They split.
Not one-celled. I'm talking about dogs. I'm talking about birds. I'm talking about.
I don't know that birds and dogs have gay relationships, or male.
A dog will hump anything. Your leg, he will hump. Okay.
But there are dogs. There are penguins,
a man will fuck mud.
There are birds. Yeah. There are mammals. There are reptiles that have homosexual relationships.
Say goodnight to girlfriend.
I cannot fathom that you could assimilate. Not assimilate. I can't agree that you can put human traits to birds and reptiles.
It's not a human trait. That's my point.
Wait, Patrick. Patrick has his hand up. Patrick.
No.
Okay, let's try this a different way.
Wait, hold on a second. I gotta turn this down. There we
slap
go.
Back.
A little slap back.
Right, and it just kind of piggybacks on what Jason's saying. What about just sexual instinct? I think that's what Jason was going, is sexual instinct. I mean, Alex is right too. I've seen dogs hump everything from a leg to a fucking stuffed animal to a couch. To, other dogs. They'll try
That's not the same.
But it is the same in that.
How do you know? I've never fucked a stuffed animal. It might feel the same.
Right. Now, here's the thing though, Phil. okay, I didn't make a choice to be straight, and yes, I've been around gay men, and I can't say that I've been hit on, or maybe I haven't noticed I was hit on, because I have zero interest in men. So if a guy was sending any signal to me, it would have been like me sending signal to a supermodel who had zero interest in some asshole from Wisconsin. So I wouldn't understand it. I know when a woman's interested.
That's the key.
Let me say this.
You didn't understand.
Let me say this. We all know famously that one time I got blown by a guy. All right?
Right.
And it was
so you made a choice.
It was no, I didn't make a choice. I was
afterwards
I was
you made a
at an
choice. You said,
orgy.
"I'm
I was
straight,
at an
and
orgy.
this is not for me."
And somebody was blowing me, and I looked down, and it was a guy. And I said to myself, "Well, this is a good learning moment for me. I will just let it keep going and see if I enjoy it." And I decided that I didn't enjoy it, not because it was a guy. I think it was I always joke about it being the stubble, I think, that bothered me. And I just found that it didn't interest me aesthetically. All right? It's an aesthetic choice. All right.
But if you're exposed
well, wait a minute. Let me
to
finish it. Let me finish it.
Right.
So why I was getting a good blowjob? Guys know how to blow other guys. Believe me, because somebody who knows what it feels like can do it right. Okay. So he was doing a good enough job, but that wasn't enough to make me suddenly go gay. And the reason is I'm sorry, that's just not where my aesthetic taste lay. And if I somehow tomorrow found out that I was gay, I suppose I would have no problem in engaging in it. But it's not a choice you make. It is a gut level emotion and aesthetic.
I don't want to compare gays to snakes. So I want you to realize that I have the utmost respect for anyone that makes a decision and lives by that decision. So if if somebody wanted to be gay,
gays are the gays are like snakes. They're
no,
they're
now,
long and
I
they have tongues that snap in and out.
The reason I mention snakes, Alex,
Yes.
is that I happen to know that you have a phobia for snakes. Isn't that right?
Yes, I hate snakes.
Okay. And now I know that within 30 days, if I first expose you maybe to a picture of a snake and then a snake in a jar, and over time get it to the point where the snake is out of the jar and then you handle the snake, I can, within 30 days, eliminate that snake phobia.
No, you won't.
It's the same,
No, you
it's
won't.
the same thing
No, you
with
won't.
any other behavior or
You won't.
learned behavior.
You won't.
You can,
because I don't even want to look at that snake. Okay, so
I
no, you
understand,
won't.
But it can be done. That's the way they
now
desensitize you
I
when
know
you're
what
afraid of
I know what you're
spiders.
talking about now. You're like talking about all these people who get gays and make them straight. I've heard those. That's really good. That's a big laugh. What's her name? Her husband had a company that did that.
Oh, was it Huffington or no?
It was the
Senator.
the Congresswoman. What was her name? Bachman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
By the way, hello to Tony. Tony's there. Hi, Tony.
How you doing?
Move your camera down a little bit so we can see your whole face. You're getting to look like Kilroy was here.
Is that better?
Nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say Kilroy. Oh, you do know.
How's that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because it's TV night and everybody should.
Yeah.
Some of my windows.
Where's your stage lighting, Tony? You got stage lighting?
Tony comes.
I got a little bedroom upstairs. That's it.
Tony is au naturel.
That's it. Yeah. What you see is what you get.
What you see
not much,
is
but-
what you get. How about you, Tony? You think being gay is a choice, or do you think it's just?
I think
hey,
everybody is born with everything.
Yeah.
And I think basically maybe people think about things too much. I think it's what you probably.
I think
agree with Tony.
I think being gay or straight is an aesthetic, and I think it is an early learned aesthetic based upon things around you. I don't think you're necessarily born gay or straight. But I do think in your
I
early,
agree.
I do
I
think
agree.
that in your
Sure,
early
sure.
formative years, there are certain things that start affecting you, and you gain an aesthetic. It's
I
the
can see
reason,
that, yeah.
and I hate to make it as simple as this. It's the reason I don't mind eating tripe because my mother used to make it all the time, and you people
That's why I
puke
say
when you
it's a
think
choice.
about it. No, it's not a choice. I learned to like tripe because it was in my environment. Yes, Jason.
But see, and that's the same thing that I go back to with other species having homosexual relationships in the species, is I think that it's a happiness issue with a species control or population control, because I think that, once a species has an overpopulation, that it's actually a safety measure, that a certain gene might kick in or a certain safety measure might kick in where you're going to like something that is going to be non-reproductive, but you'll still be able to be happy with your decision or with what's going on in your life.
I just don't think that reptiles can be happy.
How about this? Let me propose something to you, and I could be wrong. Okay. By the way, if more callers could join us on this subject, we would love to hear from you. It is TV
Room for
night.
4.
We have room for 4. So
Right.
call
And
now.
I have a new sign, so let's put it to use.
Let's see the sign. Oh no, you've had that one for a week or so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
There's 10
had the
little-
other one for a
Says
year.
10 little Indians. Anyway, my feeling has been, and I've always argued that sexuality is an aesthetic, and it's an acquired aesthetic, and it's not a choice you make. You either like it or you don't like it, or it's where you are attracted to. It is the direction you're attracted to.
Therefore, it's a choice.
No, it's not a choice. You have no. It is involuntary.
Could be a choice based on your earlier learning, but it's still a choice.
It's completely involuntary. Yes, Patrick.
Okay. I'm having a hard time grasping the choice part because, again, I learned to be racist when I was very young, and I unlearned that behavior as I got older because my mother kept, right, but you take kids born and they're not born racist. That's a learned thing. Okay?
Right.
All right. Now, you take something like sexuality, that's not something you learn. You can learn
But it's not sexuality. It's just a proclivity for who you're going to have sex with.
Oh, do you believe they can actually take, like Bachman's husband believes and had a company doing it, that you can take guys and you can make them straight after being gay?
No, not if they...
if it's a choice, can't you make them change?
You can take people... If you look at Man's Search for Meaning...
Look, if you can't make the choice tomorrow to go get a blowjob from a guy, okay, then how do you expect a guy who's gay to suddenly want to have sex with a woman?
I can make the choice. I make the choice not to do it.
Okay, wait a minute.
You're acting like this is voluntary. The two people with their hands up.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So, do you feel, Phil, then everybody is bisexual?
Yeah, probably.
So you think bisexuality is natural?
Yeah.
And then from being bisexual, people choose whether they want to, if they're male, have sex with male or female. If they're female, have sex with female or male.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What?
I knew we'd hear from Sabrina eventually. Hi, Sabrina.
Sorry, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Fuck.
No, come on. Say
That's
something.
just what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well,
ask her. Ask Sabrina.
Ask her what?
Ask her if she could have made a choice. Just like gals in high school and college sometimes, might experiment with lesbian encounters. It's a choice. They're capable of doing it. Whether they do it to be inquisitive or they do it because of they're attracted, or both.
Now you're assuming that that women enjoy necessarily having homosexual relationships.
No, I'm saying that some women do.
Yeah.
And it's common in the college.
And you find that hot, don't you? Yes, Sabrina.
You have a problem with that, do you? No?
What?
With that?
I have no problem with people choosing a gay lifestyle if that's what they want.
Choosing a gay lifestyle. Why would you? I think one of the really bright answers here was Patrick, who said, "Why would you want to be something that gets you ostracized?"
It doesn't necessarily get you ostracized. Maybe if you live in Milwaukee, it does, but in San Francisco, it's normal.
Oh, in San Francisco, it's not that normal. You can find people there who are bothered by gays just like you can anywhere else.
You can find people that
but
are
you're
bothered
putting
by,
yourself in a group to get ostracized. Why? Because you've made this choice.
So and as a Jew, I don't get ostracized. By the rest of the world.
Well, you get ostracized for being a Jew because you make the rest of us look bad. But anyway,
That's terrible.
If Hitler had met up with you, he would have stopped right there and felt satisfied.
It's too bad you never learned to be a Zionist.
By the way, it's not my joke. That's Bobby Slayton's joke. But,
I think you're inherently born with everything. I mean, I think you can. I think, and
yeah.
I mean, you're just born with all your quirks, and I think people. I guess you have to come to terms with
is it
everything.
a quirk?
People probably are afraid because it's like
maybe
Alex said, you all look that
maybe
differently.
being gay is normal, and maybe being straight is abnormal. Maybe that's the case, and too many people are abnormal in this world. Yes, Jason, all I can see is your hand because you want to get your lovely wife in the frame, and quite frankly, I'd rather look at her than you.
We'd rather look at her.
And that's what I figured because you said you like women that kind of look a little short-haired and stuff. But Bill, I have no gay feelings whatsoever. So if you do, I don't know. I'm comfortable with.
I don't. I made a conscious decision.
Let me ask you this. We get it. We get it.
You're bisexual. I'm not bisexual. I like women.
Yeah, and by the way, I tried. I was gay curious, okay? And so I tried, and I found out, and I can state to the whole world right here, I'm straight as hell because I just didn't enjoy it, all right? So I can say I'm not gay. You can't say that, Phil, because you've never tried it.
That's true. But I did say that I was offered and turned it down.
No, that doesn't be offering and turning it down is different than doing it and then making the judgment that, hey, that did not make me feel that good. I like the way a woman feels. I love the feeling of breasts. And
haven't you ever had a bad lay with a woman? And then would that turn you off?
I'd say they've had bad lays with me more often than I've had bad lays with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Jason.
I would say you said that the thing that turned you off was the prickliness of the mustache and beard.
The stubble.
I guess that leaves you and Jason.
Bill was pretty clean shaven.
Huh?
Only tonight. I actually took a shower before the show. I hadn't shaved for 3 days.
Yeah, I think I might like getting blown by Phil Meyer. I think I might.
I'll bet you would.
Yes, Patrick.
You're going to have to look a lot better than Bruce Jenner.
Yes, Patrick.
I guess I'm still waiting for a real concrete answer to how is it a choice? Right now, today, tomorrow, and Sunday is Pride Fest in Milwaukee. And it's a 3-day-long event. It's the first festival of the year every year. And there's typically no problem because the police are out protecting, making sure that there aren't any idiots out there talking shit or causing problems. But
you keeping the gays off the street?
Well, I think, the conclusion that I came to is sound why would somebody choose to be part of a group that would be ostracized or face death.
Let's put it better this
They don't
way.
look at it
I have
that
it better
way.
than that, Patrick. Why would you want to be part of a group that always has to look so damn good? You know, I mean, it's a lot of work being gay.
But now, okay, let's take it to an area that Phil and I do typically agree on, which is like with ISIS, and you have your Islamist extremists, all right? Now, under Sharia law, homosexuality is punishable by death. And yet, there are gay people in the Middle East that are Muslim, and why would they choose to live a lifestyle knowing that if their neighbor said to whoever it would be in the police or the local imam or whatever that, hey, you know, the guy next door to me is gay, knowing that he's going to be killed? Why would you choose that? How is that?
Which brings us around.
I may have an answer for that.
Oh, you may have an
Alex
answer.
asked. Yeah, Alex asked the other night. Where was the most public place you ever had sex? And I thought about it, and I thought it was the movie theater, but there was nobody else in the theater at that time. And then I realized, well, I had sex on the beach, in front of a hotel, in Hawaii, and the beach seems to be a common place, in the car, in a parking lot. People do things that you could possibly get caught because it's more exciting, and I
can't believe we're taking sex lessons from Phil.
Hey, you know what, Phil? I got a blowjob in a car, in a parking lot, at a restaurant after dinner. You know what?
Did you like it?
Well, he was taking the chance that you might throw up. Yeah.
You know what the most would have happened to me? Is if someone called the cops, I would have probably ended up in jail or booked, and that would have been it. There would have been no death. There would have been nothing. And I would have had to suffer the embarrassment of having a mug shot and possibly people knowing that. And it isn't death. I can tell you right now, Phil, if people are willing to risk their lives for something, it must be because they actually, it's that ingrained in them or part of their fiber, like homosexuality. Or we can take people, let's say Zionists. You've got people in Israel and in Palestine that are willing to die for their beliefs. Well, you know what? It's got to be pretty goddamn good to be willing to die to have sex with another man or to have sex with another woman.
Other than the sexual aspect of this conversation, is there anything at all that you can think of that you would be willing to sacrifice your life for?
Yeah.
What would that be? I know it's not have sex with another man.
No, I would be willing to sacrifice my life to save my mother if somebody were trying to kill her, to rape her. When I was with my ex, I would have sacrificed for her kids. Well, I still sacrifice for her kids. Okay. I would be willing to die for this country if people were invading it. I would be willing to die for, I would say, the majority of my family if I had to put myself in harm's way for them. So there's a lot.
So here's the follow-up.
What's that?
Here's the follow-up to the question. There are certain things that you believe in enough, and it's inculcated in your makeup that you would give up your life for. And some people who practice homosexuality may be inculcated in the same way, and they would be willing to risk their life for the love of their partner and the
what does this have to do with the discussion we're having?
To risk it because that's part of their being. It's just
right, but you're willing to risk it too for things other than a sexual things, but not them. Those people that have made that decision are willing to risk.
Jason,
okay,
let Jason say something here.
For things that
and by the way, stick around, Tony, because I have a question for you a little bit later. Yes.
What's that? Oh, yeah, again.
Yeah, so don't just disappear on us.
I'm just gonna get a drink a second.
Go, could you do that?
I see on my
Get me
mug,
one,
so
Tone.
I gotta give it a minute.
Yeah. Get me one. Smoke if you got him. He's really going to have sex with his gay lover, is what he's going to go do.
Well, I think it's the dog.
Yes.
But the dog's happy. You know?
Yes, Jason. Anyway.
I say, things that you're usually really willing to risk your life for are things that you're born into. You're born into a family. I'm going to risk my life for my family. You're born into homosexuality. Maybe I'm going to risk my life for my rights to be homosexual.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to say that to begin with, I would prefer Sabrina over you, Jason, because she doesn't have stubble. Anyway.
Just a minute. You said that you like women who look like they're lesbians.
When I like short hair is really, I find, very, very attractive. Okay,
So
we
what do you
have.
think of this?
We have a, now. Who knows who this is because they've said straight male turkey.
Yeah.
Hello, straight male turkey. Are you there?
Miranda.
Are you there, straight male turkey? It's got to be somebody who normally calls us because he came up on our line. It's been approved, and I never approved a straight Asian male turkey. Straight Asian male turkey. We don't do we have anybody Asian who calls this show?
Sometime.
Maybe Tom.
Are
he's
you
got an Asian last name.
are you there, straight male Asian turkey? Oh well, I don't know. But anyway, they are not talking to us. Wait a minute.
I think it's Miranda.
I hear them now. Are you there, straight Asian male turkey?
You guys figured me out.
Oh, we figured you out.
Well, if you click on the thing, you
why is it
see the
straight?
profile.
Here's what I don't get. Why is it straight Asian male turkey?
Straight Asian male turkey from Saturn.
Oh,
because it's a whole shitload of properties about yourself that you can't fucking choose, Phil.
That's what you say, and I understand that you've made a lifestyle choice, and
it's not a lifestyle
I don't
choice.
think nobody's born with anything except blood and bones and skin and brains, and then they learn stuff.
Wait a minute.
Made the choice, Bill? Be a straight male?
Yeah, I think I have
Yeah,
a
he said he
choice.
made a choice. Yeah.
So you chose to have a penis.
No,
Do you actively
but I
choose
chose
to
not
keep
to
your
share it
penis?
with other people with penises.
You didn't give it a chance, did you? Didn't try it out.
Oh,
Too bad
like
you
I
don't
said,
get to use
the,
it.
The
but-
lifestyle was right there in front of me
Yeah.
to choose.
I just
35, 40 years ago.
This idea of choice. All I'm saying is that you're not going to choose something that's going to cause you a great amount of grief. I didn't choose.
I don't think the choice it gives you a great amount of grief.
I didn't
People
choose.
came to California
I didn't choose.
specifically.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let us talk. Without you reiterating over and over and over again the same thing. I was born Jewish.
Okay,
It would have been
just
a
like-
lot easier for me if I wasn't born Jewish. But I didn't have any choice over the matter, and I think the same thing's true with people who are gay. I mean, we don't know exactly when the aesthetic choice is made, and I believe it to be like the reason you like the color yellow as opposed to the color red. And you're going to like the color yellow no matter what comes along, and no matter what other color comes along, that's going to be your favorite color. I think.
But you're not born that way.
And I think it's an aesthetic. I think it could be as simple. Dan. It could be as simple an aesthetic choice as similarity versus difference. Contrast versus which is an aesthetic. Huh? Yeah. I mean, I would say that I like contrast. I always have in photographs, everything else. But maybe if I was gay, I would like symmetry. Does this make any sense to you, Miranda?
Nothing.
I think it
tonight
supports
makes
Nothing
my
makes
argument.
sense. But all I'm saying is to say that it's a choice that somebody makes and that they could have made the other choice is absolutely goes against everything scientifically that we know, everything humanistically that we know.
Scientific?
Huh?
How could you say it's scientific?
Well, maybe you can find
it's a behavior.
Maybe we can find Ben.
It's not a behavior.
Maybe
it's a state of being. I mean, I'm not having sex with women constantly, I want to. I have no desire to have sex with a man.
Then why do you wear those shorts when you're doing those
I plan that it will
periscopes?
be with a female, but I'm not. I'm heterosexual. I'm not having sex with women at this moment. But my state of being
but
is
if you wanted to, could you?
Listen, I
would have a tough time. But I mean,
you might have a tough time, especially in the beginning.
I wish I had been.
But if you chose that you wanted to do that, you could do it.
All right. Yeah. Okay. You've made your case 1,000 times, Phil.
That's because I'm right.
This is one thing.
Your political alignment has nothing to do with it.
It's
because
just,
we know that there are no gay Republicans.
They got Lincoln Republicans. There's gay.
God, you can't even get that right, Phil. They're log cabin Republicans.
Log cabin, Lincoln
not Lincoln.
Why do they call themselves log cabin Republicans, though?
I have no idea.
What does that have to do with being gay? Outside of the word log.
Yeah, because it's a bigger.
I'd like to talk to one of those people for 1 second. Figure why in the hell are you guys Republicans? You're not doing yourselves any favors,
right?
No, hold on.
Okay,
that is not fair. Just because a party has an overwhelming majority that has a position, that does not mean that everyone in that party has that position. People can't be conservative and gay at the same time.
The overwhelming majority, their position is against the position that they are in.
Well, I'll tell you though, if
I conservative, you're going to jump.
I'm not saying everyone, Patrick. So I see that look in your face.
Did you even hear the beginning of the show with me?
A little bit, but I didn't hear you at the beginning.
Okay, then, Dan, I would advise you just to take your statement that you said and put it back in your pocket, because everybody...
Well, I said I didn't say every single one. Oh, go ahead. Whatever.
Well, wait a minute. Jason has something to say.
So I'm just curious, would a lesbian Republican still be a log cabin Republican?
I wouldn't see why not.
Because every log cabin Republican that I've seen has been homosexual.
A gay male.
Gay male.
What I've been used to. So I was just curious. I didn't know if maybe they had their own.
But you're used to girls.
Log TV.
I don't know.
Well, I don't. I imagine if I were to ask Rand Paul, who's basically a libertarian, how he felt about the subject tonight, I think he would say people are what people are, and we just have to respect that. Because I think that's kind of a very libertarian attitude. So to say that all people on the right are, necessarily anti-gay, I think would maybe be a little felonious. I would have to agree with Miranda on that one.
I'm not anti-gay.
You're not. No, but you certainly have what I consider to be a lot of not too nice attitudes about people.
It has
who
nothing to do with
gay.
niceness. I am not anti-gay. And
okay,
yeah,
Jason,
exactly.
then Patrick. Jason first.
I was just saying, because it all started off with what's his name or her name now. If it doesn't affect me, why is it have any of my business? It doesn't. That's the whole thing of America. You have all the rights in the world until it starts infringing on your rights. What their decisions are does not infringe on my rights. So, who cares?
Well, I have always brought up the fact that the biggest problem we face in all of this is that a guy like Phil would go crazy if he saw two guys having sex in public. Not sex in public. Excuse me.
But I wouldn't appreciate it.
Wait a minute. No, hold on a second. Jeez, let people finish. I meant kissing in public. I didn't mean having sex in public. And I can kiss my wife.
People having sex in
I can
public
kiss
is
my.
gonna cause a stir.
Can I just finish what I'm saying? I could kiss my wife in public, and nobody would be bothered by that, except maybe some people would say, "Isn't that disgusting? Two old people kissing." But what I'm saying is that I just wouldn't. There we go.
Have you seen people that should get a hotel room? Those that go overboard and go beyond what's reasonable decorum.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Patrick, you had your hand up, and then Renee, you had your hand up. Patrick,
I want to make another comparison.
Okay.
To say that one is not anti-gay because you're not against them for whatever reason very much reminds me of a neighbor that I grew up with who was not anti-black as long as they were working. And if they were working, they were okay. But he wasn't racist, and he would tell you that. But then every once in a while it would be, those niggers on TV. Or, but then he'd tell you...
That's an ignorant person.
Right, but then he'd say, but I'm not... Don't think of me as racist because I can appreciate, what they've been through. And then, like I said, a couple days later it would be, damn black people, this, that, or the other. And it's like, well...
Looks like my dad.
I have never, ever changed my position in 40 years when it comes to having bigotry towards gays. It doesn't happen. I respect a person's choice. I have worked with for many years in the industry that I'm in. There's a lot of people that have made that lifestyle choice, and I respect them for it.
Okay.
And
right, some of my best friends are black. Okay. Let me see here. Let's go to Renee. Renee had her hand up.
It's Friday night. Shouldn't it be later than this? My goodness.
Phil, everybody needs to understand, Phil does not like PDAs. And PDAs are public display of affections. So right off the bat, it doesn't matter if it's a girl and a guy or a guy and a guy or a girl and a girl. He does not like PDAs. It doesn't matter if it's kiss or if it's sex, or I think he even has a problem with holding hands.
Well, holding hands works for a while, but Jason keeps shaking hands. That's the problem.
Well, he's that bristly face next to hers. It just makes me want to stop, shave it. Anyway, that's my problem. So just remember when.
Oh, by the way, you don't know this, but all along we've set this up tonight that actually Jason is a female. And they've been engaging in homosexual activities there, and he's accepted it because they look convincing.
Damn, Jason, you're butch.
He'd look better. He'd look better if Annie Leibovitz photographed him.
And Phil has a very good point. She is a world-renowned photographer, and they pulled out all the
if she photographed Phil, she'd say, "Look, you can do a lot of things, but you can't shine shit."
Broke the camera.
She's been videotaping us all night.
Now that she was very famous for photographing turd blossoms like George Bush and the Bush family in the White House.
Yeah.
She's photographed many major people, including a lot of people from all walks of life.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
But Phil, here's my only statement at this. Go back to your guy who asked you, kind of proposed a scenario to you. And let's just say, remember the story you were telling at the beginning of the show. Okay, so we're back there. So a gay person would have looked at that situation if I were gay and said, "Oh yeah, I prefer going on a ride with that thing than I would prefer doing something with her body part." Because And they know that. They just look at the guy and say, oh, okay, I like this opportunity better than I like what she's going to give. And it turns out that that's what the person's going to continuously go to, what they like. And it wasn't a choice. It was just the fact that he wants to go play with, you know, a multiple long...
That's not a choice?
That's
not a choice? That is a choice.
It's not a choice.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. Let me say something here. If I had a choice, truly had a choice, I'd be bisexual. Mainly because I'd be able to screw twice as much. Okay, but I can't be. Because it's just not in my wheelhouse. That's all, and it's not a choice. It's just the way I am.
Capable of it.
Miranda has her hand up. Right. Yes, Miranda.
We are all capable of loving other people.
Okay.
And you don't get to choose. It's who you drawn to.
Let Miranda.
I apologize.
Phil's right about one thing.
No.
Hold on,
no,
Alex.
No.
Run with me on this one.
Okay.
Hold on. There is a choice involved. Mm-hmm. And the choice is to be true to yourself and actually be honest with the world.
Very good.
Thank you.
Bravo.
That's the only choice involved. Phil, that is the only choice involved.
I understand. You're saying that if you're attracted to men or you're attracted to women, you make a choice. Mm-hmm. I think that... you could choose. You could choose either way you want to go.
You didn't.
He doesn't hear. He doesn't hear.
Straight.
That just fell on deaf ears.
Yeah, no, he's
sorry. Go ahead.
Can I say something? So, are you saying like, say Michelle Bachmann's husband, who, and like he is making a choice to be married to her, where.
No, you know what he's made a choice. You know what he's made a choice of.
If he was to be true to himself, he would be with guys.
Yeah, if he were true to himself, he would probably be with guys.
Well, I don't know that either, but you know, and I'm generalizing, I'm making an assumption. You know, slice my head open for that, but
I didn't beat you up.
Well,
there's a British TV show called Vicious with McKellen and. Who's the guy who played? Oh boy,
the Star Trek guy.
No. Oh. I'm trying to think of who the other guy is. They're two old gay guys, and in one episode, the latest episode, they have to portray themselves, or one of them has to portray themselves as straight, and it's very funny. Because that's what Michelle Bachmann's husband reminds me of. You know,
is Michelle Bachmann's
we're going to be men now.
Gay?
What?
Is Michelle Bachmann's husband gay?
He's not out.
He's not out.
But
yeah,
you're clipping.
But now here's another.
And by the way, it's not my job to out him. Okay, but it is my job to out him if what he is saying is detrimental to gay people.
Yeah.
If he's going around saying gays are terrible, it's a horrible lifestyle,
you can be converted.
You can be converted, and then you yourself are gay, then I'm going to out the shit out of you. Okay.
Is that the case with Michelle Bachmann's husband?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
You think so?
I would. It is my opinion that he's made a lifestyle choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and his lifestyle choice has 23 kids.
He has 23 kids?
Yeah, they adopted.
Well, that doesn't mean that he had
that doesn't mean anything.
To begin with, even straight having sex with Michelle Bachmann has got to be
anything.
But that was his choice.
Even being straight, even being straight. This is Bad Eye Bob.
Oh, I think we got 10.
Which would be
Where's your Indian sign?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't change my photo. Skype's not letting me change that.
Yeah. Well,
hey, well, we got 10.
Hi, Bad Eye Bob.
Hey, Phil, that sign's racist.
You want to?
What's with the 10 little Indians? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, that means
we got 10 little Indians.
Means we have 10 people now. That's his latest way of saying we have a full house.
By the way, Bob, when did you choose?
Look at the look on Miranda's face.
I did not choose to become legally blind, and the reason that I've called is I'm 62 years old. I am masculine, and I am gay. I have had a miserable, absolutely miserable life because, one, I didn't just come out and tell my parents when I was 18 or 20. I was closeted. So I made a hell of a mess out of my life. And if there had been anything I could have done from the time I was about 8 or 9 years old and realized I like penis,
That's what I was trying to say.
if I could have changed it, by God, I would have done it. It comes down to inborn sexual desire, and that's it. Let me tell you, it's there, and I believe it's from birth. And they've done some medical issues with the brain, looking at the brains and stuff, and they see differences. So I don't know a whole lot about that, but I just want to tell you, it is. I've had a horrible life because of it.
Now, let me ask you a question, Bob. You said you're 62.
Mm-hmm.
Were you younger, let's say half your age, do you think it would be as bad as it has been for you during your lifetime? Hey, listen, you kids over there, stop it already.
In this day and
public
age, you mean?
public affection is not to be tolerated by the guy in the lower part of our screen.
I mean, in this day and age,
in other words,
like 30.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be a lot easier today to make to live with that, because it's not as the ostracism. To begin with, you can find a lot more people who are out who can then give you support for what you do. You know,
when 1968, when I was 14 years old,
Mhm.
I was involuntarily outed by some boy and stuff about being gay. At that time,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get caught doing anything. Nobody saw me doing anything. I could have denied it or whatever, but it immediately was, you have a mental disorder. We're suspending you from school for 3 days.
Wow.
And ever since
That'll
then,
change it.
during the rest of my junior high and high school life, I had to run from boys that were throwing things at me, spitting on me, beating me up. I had to watch every move I made when I was outside.
Yeah.
And I'm just now trying to get some help for all this. And I know it's kind of late, but what am I going to do?
What kind of help do you feel you need?
Because I am so depressed and so miserable looking back on my life that I didn't accept it and tell my parents, and my parents,
which almost brings us back around to Caitlyn Jenner, in that here's a person who at 65 has said, I've decided to do this because I don't want to die on my deathbed knowing that I hadn't done this.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and here you are at 62 really being depressed about your life because you haven't been able to live it the way you wanted to. If you had been able to be out and you had been able to be not have that problem, your life probably would have been a hell of a lot better.
It would have been. My mother, even into my 30s, I'm an only child, was still trying to set me up with women. And my parents, one of their two best friends that we went to their house and all the time and partied with were two gay guys. And I still couldn't, you know, I don't know, for some reason I couldn't tell them, you know, I was gay.
Right.
Even though I had friends that were a little more gayish looking and that were around. I mean, it was probably something they knew, but it certainly wasn't anything that anyone wanted to discuss.
Does anybody here have anything to say about what he just said? Yes, Jason.
I just want to ask, you know, how are you doing now then? You know, are you in a relationship or anything, or?
I'm kind of trying to get into one because, you know, I'm tired of being alone, but so I am better with it now. But let me tell you what happened just today, 2 months ago, actually. I've got a straight friend that I had in recovery, and he's straight. And I used to go to this place and watch movies. We'd watch go to his dorm room even, and watch movies and stuff, and we'd go to meetings and go out to eat and everything else. I actually, for the first time, thought, well, this is a straight guy, that I'm going to tell him for the first time, somebody straight, that I'm gay. I told him I was gay. 4 days later, he told me I wasn't allowed in his dorm anymore. I couldn't watch TV in his room, and because it's essentially his bedroom. And this is a guy that I thought was pretty liberal-minded, and then said if he came to my house to watch a movie, someone else had to be in the house. And I told him, you motherfucker, I says, you've made me out to be a sexual predator of college-age men. I says, how do you think that made me feel when I felt good about telling somebody that I was gay?
Yeah, Patrick, you've got something to say.
Number one, I want to congratulate you for having the courage to do that and to be honest to yourself. And number two, it may seem too late to you or late in the game, but counseling is never too late. And, frankly, you're probably further ahead than many younger people with having lived the life you have to be able to deal with things. And for that, I give you a hell of a lot of credit, and good for you.
Well, the thing about the counseling is it helps because it gives me some validation. They always like to use that word. That somebody's actually able to say, wow, you really did have a fucked up childhood and life. And because I've never talked about it with anybody.
But can you imagine somebody like a Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, who spent his entire life
Hers.
Well, his life at that point.
Hers, Alex.
Forgive him.
Now it's her. We can talk about everything after a certain cutoff date.
No, just stop separating it. She wants to be known as a her. She's her. Forget the him. Give him his medal.
Is Jenner?
It's a her.
Is Jenner heterosexual or homosexual?
Heterosexual.
No.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
No, she's homosexual.
She's a woman.
She likes women.
She likes women, right?
Well,
she's a lesbian.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Again, we're having to go back to this whole discussion. There hasn't.
Pronoun. Come on.
Do we talk about this as being a reality of it being, say, if she still likes women,
Woohoo!
but has not had gender reassignment? Does that make it a gay a lesbian relationship? I don't think so, because we haven't had the gender.
Yes, it does, because it has.
Now the gender is a female. It's female.
Right.
It's about gender. It's
female.
about gender identity, and that is completely separate from sexuality.
All right.
Okay, that's a very good point.
So
say it again, please.
It's about gender identity, which is completely separate from sexuality.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, she went through her entire life feeling exactly as Bob has felt, a feeling that there hasn't been a completion of her life, and I think that's a horrible thing to have to go through. And I don't know. Phil's been very silent ever since Bob called.
No, I wanted to give him his respect and his space. I felt that he had made a choice. I was surprised that it was as early in life as
Bob.
It was not a choice. What choice did he make? It was not a choice.
What choice? Yeah, but you chose not to identify with it until your attraction became so great that you.
But here you go.
My attraction was great from the time I was 10 years old, though.
He's just
I understand.
in denial.
Yeah.
Complete.
Been in denial of was in denial starting out, which like many people are.
Phil, do you think an 8-year-old has a concept of sexuality?
No, I don't.
And
that's why I was surprised that
So how the hell did he make a choice?
Do you know the children of
you know, I'm not in a position.
Do you know children
to tell
who are
him,
still in the crib masturbate? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or at least they touch their.
Yes,
genitals.
Jason.
Hey, so to a point, I guess, Phil. Yes, there could be a choice, but is it fair?
No.
Is it fair to ask somebody to make that choice to be unhappy?
Oh,
No.
to be that miserable.
And I'm not saying that they should make a choice to be unhappy, but they should make a choice to what's going to make them happy. And
So to be what they are is to what makes them happy. Is that fair?
I don't know if it's what they are.
But it is.
But everything is what they are. I'm left-handed.
Wait
Yes,
a minute.
but you could be taught to be right-handed.
No,
I was left-handed when I was in kindergarten, and they made me use my right
Are
hand.
you right-handed or left-handed?
Me?
Yeah.
Now I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed. You do everything with your right hand. You think in terms of right-handedness.
Yes.
Okay, tonight try to jerk off with your left hand.
Yeah.
They used to tie kids' arms behind their back before.
Yes, they did.
Look,
really?
Yeah.
As I said, when I was in kindergarten, they didn't tie my hand behind my back, but they forced me to use my right hand rather than my left.
So you learned how to develop a muscle. Or a set of muscles.
Right. So it became a choice.
I love
but I think that all human interaction.
Wait. Okay, so if you can learn how to train a set of muscles that allow you to write and do activities with your hand. So
that has what?
Does that mean that someone can that a gay male can train their pecker to not raise when they see a man that they are highly attracted to, and instead raise when they see any woman that society deems is generally attractive?
Well, after you've been through the Marcus Bachmann school of heterosexuality, perhaps that's possible.
A little electroshock. I think that early on, you can make a decision. You know, whether it's a conscious decision or not, it's still a decision that has been made. Now, I was not confronted with gay people before I moved to San Francisco. So therefore, I didn't need to make the decision.
Wait a minute, you lived in New
I
York.
didn't need to make the decision.
You lived in New
until
York.
I had the opportunity to go one way or another.
You lived in New York. You can't throw a rock without hitting a gay person in this town. And they used to throw rocks at gay people in this town.
I wasn't confronted with anything. I just Miranda said had a good point. 8, 9, 10 years old, I hadn't had any sex with anybody, but I knew as I was getting older that was what my attraction was. And by the time I was about 22, if someone would have said, look, we'll cut both your feet off and you'll be straight, I would have let them do it at that point.
Yeah, by the way, okay.
So trust me, it was not a choice.
And I'm going to get to you, by the way, Tony, before the show's over.
Oh, it's okay.
Let's see. I don't know who raised their hand first. Let's go to Patrick, and then we'll go to Jason. Yes, Patrick.
I just want to say, Phil made a mildly intelligent statement mixed in with all of that.
Wait a minute. Will you two stop saying that about him?
He said an unconscious choice. Well, to me, that's just your natural direction of what you're attracted to. So you're right, Phil. You are right. It's an unconscious decision because that is the way your brain is wired. That is how you're hardwired to be attracted to one or the other, or in some cases you're bisexual who enjoy both.
But
that's unconscious. Just like I said, there is not one male that I have come across, both in real life or watching on TV, that, as the Queen of Gabnet said, my pecker raised. Because you know what? I don't find any male attractive on any.
Got a crown, of course.
I can look at a guy and say, that's a good-looking male, and that doesn't make me gay. You know what that makes me? Observant. Just like I can look at any number of women and not get a hard-on either because I'm not attracted to that particular woman.
Has to do
Okay,
with what
now the
you're
question
exposed
is,
to.
I have two hands up, and Jason should go next, but the Queen of Gabnet has her crown on. She's
put on her crown.
actually pulling
Special
rank.
dispensation.
She's pulling rank. Yes, Miranda, you first, and then Jason, because you are the queen.
I want to attack this notion of an unconscious decision. Phil, would you do an exercise with me?
Sure.
Okay. Breathing is not a conscious choice. Would you agree?
Correct.
I want you to stop breathing for as long as you can.
Please.
Just
it's controlled by the old brainstem.
See how long you can stop yourself from breathing. It's exactly analogous to how long someone can stop themselves or make a choice who they're attracted to.
You know, there's one other point here that I think can be made very easily, and
stop your heart from beating. How about that?
That is, you know, you're asking maybe gay people to make the choice to stop being gay, but you can't make the choice to stop being heterosexual, and neither can I.
Right.
Because and that's it in a nutshell. And that if we start looking, as I said last night, at sexuality as being a spectrum rather than over here is good and over here is bad, but as a spectrum, then anything sexual is okay. It's the people, by the way, who are not sexual who've got a real problem, in my opinion.
No,
you know,
not compared to.
I agree. You see, I think we start out that you get learned behaviors.
Here we go again. Now you're just going back and repeating, so I'm going to stop you there.
All right. So,
okay. Yes, Jason.
All right. So I got to ask you, Phil, at what age do you think that you start learning these behaviors?
Depends on what you're exposed to. And
I just know when I was probably 2-3 years old, I was already looking at my dad's Playboys. And at that point in time, my mom was getting Playgirls, and I know I wasn't looking at those. But when I was older, I even found my dad's old Playboys that I was looking at with my crayons, you know, drawings, circling the boobies and all that stuff. I wasn't looking at my mom's Playgirls and circling the penises. I was circling the boobies.
I remember at a very young age taking the ads in the Sunday paper for the bras and panties and trying to erase the bras and panties.
Well, you know, you should have gone to National Geographic.
Yeah.
But
I looked at this too.
Yeah, all kids take their dad's Playboy and then show it to other kids because that's what they do. You know, but they're not even sexually active. They're not at a point where they're choosing a lifestyle.
So why was I not doing the same
as
thing
I'm
with
saying,
Playgirls?
as I'm saying, children, males especially, in their cribs, it is known at a year and a half, they've found them masturbating. The inclination is there very early.
You know.
Yes, there's so many hands going up at so many times. First, Patrick, then the Queen of Gabnet. Put the crown back on, damn it, and and Jason.
I just wanted to, not that this is my show or anything,
yeah,
but wanted to ask Tony something, and I'm curious as to what that is before he does disappear.
Okay, there's this guy Jeff, who writes me incessantly. Okay. And his latest mania is there is a clipping sound on the air, like somebody's clipping their toenails or something.
Gross.
And it happens once in a great while, but it's driving him crazy. And now I'm sitting here with earphones, and I'm listening to everything, and I hear noises, but I don't hear clipping. He finally blamed it on Tony and said, if you listen at a certain time on the show, there's something clicking. Are you clicking anything, Tony?
You know what I could be doing? He might be hearing. Sometimes I go to Amazon and I'm typing, looking for stuff.
Really?
My fingers typing on the keyboard?
Could you do that sound right now?
Hold on, I'll go to
just
Amazon.
to see here.
Hold on.
Just type. You don't have to go to Amazon.
Doc is a
oh,
big
that's
violator
it.
of
That's it. That's the sound.
Mouse click.
Yeah, that's my
mouse click.
To begin with, I don't give a shit. And I don't think anybody else does or anybody else hears it. But this guy's writing me every other day. I heard the clipping again. You better do something about the clipping. Oh, it's Tony. I've decided it's Tony.
He's like Sherlock Holmes.
And I'm going, if I don't give a shit, why would anybody else? But this guy's going, it's driving me crazy.
Or maybe it's you opening your Frappuccino.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Well, no, but my Frappuccino, I only opened that up at the beginning of the show.
Wow, that's kind of. I didn't realize you can hear that. It's very sensitive.
Oh, you're such a troublemaker with that noisy mouse of yours.
It's actually my keyboard.
It's your keyboard?
Yeah, I'm typing on it.
Oh.
I say we kill Tony.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the only solution.
Yeah.
Boil them in oil.
But, I just think that, Scott, you've been very quiet all night. You should say something. Mainly because you have the nicest curtains on the show.
Yeah, nice windows.
Roman shades.
Yep.
I knew I liked girls when I was 4 because I got caught showing my junk basically to other girls outside, and
at 4 at 4 what are you wait a minute, what are you, a Duggar?
You're just showing your junk to every woman you run into? Is that what it was?
It was actually, I think there were 2 girls. I remember one's name, but not the other. But it was my first and only threesome, I should say.
Yeah. Well, we just lost Tony. We found out what we wanted to talk
about.
Yeah. I wanted to say a couple last things with Phil.
Yeah.
Sure. First, you go back to the learned thing. Well, in 1968, I didn't know anything about homosexuality. We weren't around homosexuals. My parents were very normal acting heterosexuals. It was just something as a feeling that came from my brain and my desires, and I learned nothing. Now, the second thing is I'm blind, I'm gay, and I'm a Democrat. So I'm going to get really shitty carpet from the Army.
You had mentioned that.
Yeah, but the lucky part is you won't know it.
Used to come over to their house.
Yeah.
But you didn't tell them. Right. So you were exposed to people with gay lifestyle.
But that was years.
Wait a minute. Look at Tony. Look at Patrick. Patrick is like hitting himself in the head with. I think it's either a brick or what. Yes.
It's so fucking bizarre to me that we've got somebody on the panel who is telling Phil, I was this way. I've gone through this. I'm 62. You're dealing with all kinds of stuff there, Bob. You revealed it to us. I give you a lot of fucking credit. And it still has not even made a fucking dent.
Patrick, I want Bob to be happy. I want Bob to be fulfilled. I'm not saying that his choice is wrong or there's any issue with it. But he believes that it wasn't a choice, and for as much as he believes it wasn't a choice, I know.
You know what's amazing to me is this has been going on for an hour and a half tonight.
Yeah,
okay, it's going on for an hour and a half tonight, and you have not budged 1 inch. You haven't. I haven't even heard well, maybe you're right, or maybe you could be right, but that's not. Maybe you'd ask me what my position was, or Patrick did. He asked me if I believed that it was a choice, and I said yes. Has anything
that's what I believe.
An unconscious
but for as much
no, but just because in my life I believe. Are you hitting yourself, Sabrina? That's very good. Not only do we get affection every now and then, but we get a little S&M going on there. So that's cool. That's we've had good numbers on the video tonight, and I think it has to do because these two people have been making out and stuff like that.
Yeah, you only got another minute or so, and Renee's got her hand up.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, Renee.
So, Phil, this is what I think it might boil down to. You either like Dick or you don't. That's all there is to it. It's just that's all.
Well, we know we
about on the other hand,
we know we like Dick Nixon.
How do you feel about Dick? That's the main argument.
Yeah.
He wasn't my favorite president.
Who?
Funny thing was, it was mine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Phil
So
really
Phil likes.
I ever voted.
So Phil likes
wait,
Dick.
wait, Phil. So you're saying you made the choice to like Dick?
Yeah.
To like Richard.
That one in particular.
And I made the choice not to like Dick.
Yeah.
I don't like Dick either.
I've had a few tricky dicks in my life too.
I like my.
Yeah.
But I did watch Goldfinger, and I loved Pussy. So, boy,
all right.
This has been an exhausting one. I had the volume up too high.
Heavy conversation for Friday.
Huh?
Man.
Yeah. Well, a good one though. A good one.
Yeah.
And what a panel! Oh, all of you. First of all, Patrick, the lovely and attractive Patrick, the hood ornament of Gabnet. Then there's Jason and Sabrina. Go ahead, you guys can make out for the rest of the show and up our numbers. And there's Renee, who's wearing her wonderful. I mean, she just has this array of pajamas. Let me double up on that so everybody can see it. Look at those pajamas tonight with the cakes on them. Look at the cakes and
we all got to get a look at you. You know, it's all about the looks for the ladies.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Thanks, Bob. We really appreciate your candor tonight.
Thanks
it
for your
really helped
support,
the
most of
discussion. And
you have my support. I don't think anybody doesn't support you.
Dan, thank you. Jason and Sabrina, as I say, wonderful having you here. Miranda, always a pleasure, especially you wore the crown. And what is that you're holding in your hand now?
I'm not holding anything in my hand. I'm wearing my Batman pajamas.
You're wearing your Batman.
Are you still convinced that we all hate you, Alex?
I think everybody hates me.
Okay, I hate you.
Okay, good.
And
Phil,
this show was pre-recorded.
And yeah, it's been pre-recorded. And Phil Meyer, thank you. And Scott Boddicker, as always, thank you. Wow, full house at one point tonight with Tony. What can I say? But it's been a great show. And Phil, as usual, everybody probably got real drunk tonight if they were playing the Phil Meyer drinking game. Anyway, thanks, everybody.
If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have any controversy.
That's right.
Yes, we would.
Also have a lot of correct facts.
I would make it too. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Hey, that's about it for me, and it's about it for them as well. Goodbye to the panel, and I will see you again on Monday, same time, same station in life. Jim Browning, Revelstoke Jim, next with Canadian content over Gabnet. And if you see her, tell her I love her. Goodbye, everybody. Just wanted to say goodbye to the TV people.